is going to be another prom makeup tutorial. I already did one other prom tutorial, which I will link down below, but this one is for my more dramatic girls. This is definitely something that I would wear to prom. I love a good wing and smoky eyes, so I really like this look. And what's great about it is I used mostly drugstore and inexpensive brands for this look. So if you are doing your makeup for yourself and you don't want to spend a fortune on products, you can definitely use some of the products that I recommended and used in this tutorial. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial and let's get started. Okay, starting off, I'm priming my lids. I know this isn't technically drugstore, but I need a good primer. So I will always use my Urban Decay Primer Potion, neither Eden or the original. I definitely suggest investing in a good primer, but if you don't want to, Melon has an eyeshadow primer that is pretty good. And then I'm just going to take an eyeshadow and just set the primer. You can use any skin tone shade. I'm going to be using two Morphe palettes today, the 350 and the 35F. If you don't want to get both, that is totally fine. You can totally do this look just using one of these palettes. If you love warm shades and you like a good mixture of matte and shimmer, I definitely recommend the 350. But if you are a sucker for a good lid shade, a shimmery lid shade, I would definitely check out the 35F. These are the prettiest shimmery shades. You do have your transition shades here that are matte. So if you are a sucker for a good shimmery eyeshadow, then definitely check this one out. You can get both, you can get one or the other, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just check out your favorite big YouTuber, and I'm sure they have a discount code for Morphe. These palettes are already so inexpensive, but if you use their 10% off discount codes, you can get some really good deals. I'm just going to give you an idea of what the shimmer on these is like. Sorry, I barely touch these and that's the shimmer. So yeah, it's beautiful. But anyways, starting off, I'm going in with this creamsicle shade here. I'm using my Morphe M513 and this is just going to go in my crease. Then once I have that applied, I'm going to go in with this shade here, which is just a little bit of a darker orange. And I'm going to focus this more in like the socket of my eye with the same brush. A clean blending brush, I'm going to just go around the edges and diffuse the color. Now taking a more precise blending brush, I'm going to go with the brightest. I'm going to use the brightest orange in the palette, which is this one here. Now I know this seems like really intimidating. And if you are not into warm eyeshadows, that's totally fine. There are plenty of shadows that you can use in there that aren't as orangey and warm. I just personally love oranges and warm shadows. I just think it suits me well, and especially when you have a tan, it just looks beautiful and it's like an unexpected pop of color in your look. But again, you don't have to go as vibrant with the orange as I am. I just personally really like the way it looks. Now I'm going to focus this directly in my crease because I'm going to want this to kind of peep through like you see it on this side through the darker shades. Now I'm going to deepen up the outer corner, and I'm going to use this shade, and then I'm going to use this shade right here, which is like a nice chocolatey brown. This is more of like a warm reddish brown. By the way, I'm applying the chocolatey brown on the side of my blending brush. This is like a MAC 217, except it's from Coastal Scents and only $2, but it's literally like the same brush. I'm putting it on the side of the brush rather than the tip of the brush. That way I can pack on the color like so, and then when I'm ready to start blending, I can go ahead, tip the brush to the top, and use the tip of the bristles to blend that shadow. I suggest going back in with the brush that you applied the brighter orange with and using that to diffuse the edges and make sure that the chocolatey brown and the orange is blending together nicely. Okay, now time to deepen up the look, and I'm going to be using this shade right here, which is next to the chocolatey brown shade we just used. It's just a deeper version, and for this I'm going to be using a pencil brush because it's going to allow me to be more precise with it, because you really don't want to get the outer corner like muddy and crazy. You want to have precise placement with the darkest color. I think that's a common mistake a lot of people make when applying a darker color in the outer corner. They start to just kind of mush all the colors together and it starts to become muddy and you can't really see the definition of each color. And I think the problem is people don't use a small enough brush when using the darkest color, because if you use just a regular blending brush like we've been using, it's just going to kind of diffuse all the colors together, and then there's going to be no definition. You're not going to see the orange anymore, you're not going to see the chocolatey brown. The key to blending is kind of using different shades and using the right brushes. That way you can still see the shades, but it still all looks kind of smooth and blended together, and there's no harsh line between each different shade that you're using. So I'm just going to use this pencil brush and just kind of use this to deepen up the outer corner. Then I'm going back in with the brush that I used to apply the chocolatey brown, and I'm going to use it to blend. Now time for the lid. I'm actually going to be using the second shade from in the 35F palette on the top row. And then I'm going to be using this shade as well once I get to the outer corner. You can see it on this eye. It's kind of like in the middle. And I'm going to diffuse the two colors together on my lid. And don't forget to wet your brush because these are super shimmery shades, and if you wet it, they're going to be even more intense. I'm going to use the brush as kind of a guide to carve out my crease. You can see I kind of have somewhat of a defined crease. By the way, I just want to say that I think another common mistake that people make is when you're using a super shimmery shadow, people think you should pat like this. You're gonna get the most color payoff if you press and then slide the color on. That's gonna give you the most foiled eyeshadow look. If you're just tapping, you're not gonna get the most pigment, but pressing and sliding is what's going to give you the most pigment. I think that's a common mistake that people make. So yeah, initially you want to press and slide, and then if you want to go in and tap, you can. Now going in with that bronzy shade, you're going to focus that on more of the center of the lid. And as you can see, I'm pressing and sliding. And to join the two colors together, then you can tap and just kind of go over that line. And I'm going to go back in with this brush and just kind of make sure that these two colors are blended together. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my liquid liner. As you can see, I went pretty dramatic with the wing. I haven't done a wing in a hot minute. It's been a while. So I really wanted to do a dramatic wing. Obviously, you don't have to go this dramatic, but I really love it. I haven't done a wing in so long, so I was like, either go big or go home. So I'm just going to go ahead with my NYC Liquid Liner and do my wing, which by the way, this is discontinued, so I hear. I'm pretty sad about it because this is like the best liquid liner. so I have to find a replacement. I know the NYX matte liquid liner is very similar, but you know, I'm not a fan of it as much as I am this one, so I'm gonna have to keep searching. But anyways, I'm gonna apply this and I'll be right back. Okay, now moving on to the lower lash line, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a nude liner. You can use black if you really want to smoke out this look and make it super smoky, but keep in mind you are taking lots of pictures and you want your eyes to be, you know, open and look awake. And sometimes if you apply black liner and smoke out that lower lash line, it can really close in your eyes. So I personally feel like nude is the way to go, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in with that first orange shade that we used on the crease, and I'm going to apply that to the lower lash line. I'm like in front of the window and my ring light, so my eyes are like super sensitive right now because it's so bright. Now going in with the orange, the bright orange, I'm going to use this to apply on the lower lash line as well. I'm going to use a more precise brush and get right in that lower lash line. And then I'm just going to take that lighter chocolatey brown shade that we used and focus that on the outer corner. Now I'm going to apply an inner corner highlight, and I'm just going to use the first shimmery shade in the 35F palette on the top row, mixed in with the lid shade that we used. I already applied mascara on the top. I'm just going to apply it on the bottom, and then I'm going to go in with these lashes by Alarme Beauty. They're in the style Doll Face. They're so pretty. They're just a nice wispy, beautiful lash. So I really like this lash. So I'm gonna apply them and I'll be right back to finish off the eyes and face. Okay guys, so this is the eyes with lashes, but I don't know, I feel like the eyes need a little bit more interest, a little bit more of a little oomph. So of course I'm gonna add glitter. I'm going to be using this Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art glitter. This is in the shade Topaz Twinkle, and I think I just want to add it like on the inner part of my eye. So let's see what we can do here. Hey guys, so I just wanted to pop in here real quick because as much as I love the way this glitter looked, and I definitely think you should try it if you're going to try out this look, I don't recommend using this glitter. I've used it a few times before and never had a problem with it, but for some reason this time around, I noticed after wearing it for like an hour, the edges started to lift and I could literally peel off the glitter and it kind of ruined the look. And yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because I already had a lot of eyeshadow underneath. I'm really not sure, but if you are going to try out the glitter, I definitely recommend buying another glitter for this look and not using this one. Yeah, that totally made the look. Don't forget, just don't look up right away because this is like a very liquidy glitter. So look down and wait till it's dry. You should really fan it just so it dries faster. Now just going ahead, just going to do it on the other eye. Moving on to the rest of my face. My face is looking super pale right now. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the lighting, but we're gonna bronze it up. So I'm gonna be using this BB bronze. So I'm gonna use this BB bronze by Physicians Formula, and we are just gonna load it on my brush and bronze the skin. You definitely want to make sure your face is bronzed. It has plenty of color. because when you are taking photographs in, you know, with an intense flash, sometimes you can look a little washed out. So, you know, it's always important to really bronze up the skin. I'm going to be using an oldie but a goodie, and that is the NYC Sunny Bronzer. It's just a matte bronzer, and it's so inexpensive. I forgot how much I love this stuff. Next, I'm going to apply some blush, and I'm going to be using this shade, which is Fresh Melon from the City Color little trio. I got this in my Ipsy Glam bag, but I'm pretty sure City Color is inexpensive, I think. If it's not, then just use your favorite drugstore blush or NYX blush, whatever. I know my lashes were not drugstore, but I love these lashes, and I think, you know, if there's one thing you want to spend a little bit more on, definitely get a good pair of mink lashes, because you can get like so many uses out of them and they just look so beautiful. But I will say the drugstore now has some pretty great faux mink lashes, so you can just pick up a pair of those. Okay, lastly for the face, I'm going to use my Mary Louminizer by The Balm. Ugh. This is just the best highlighter. Now, this isn't technically drugstore. I mean, in Duane Reade in New York, they actually do sell The Balm cosmetics, but I wouldn't really consider it drugstore. You can use, I think Physicians Formula has some highlights. You know, there are some in the drugstore, but nothing's as good as Mary Louminizer, so I'm just gonna use this. Okay, now moving on to lips, I'm gonna use my LA Girl Endless Semi-Permanent Auto Lip Liner in Cocoa. Now going in with a nude gloss, I'm going to use the Forever Aqua Glass Nude by BH Cosmetics in the color Honeysuckle. Then to top that all off, I'm going to be using this Sandstorm lip gloss by Revlon. Okay guys, so that is it for this prom makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really love this dramatic smoky eye. I have not gone really dramatic with my makeup in a while. I've just been kind of keeping it light. I actually haven't been wearing a lot of makeup, I feel like. I don't know, but I'm ready to go full force back into full glam all the time, because personally, that's just me. That's just my personality, that's my style. I would wear looks like this every day, even to church. Like, I wear looks like this all the time. It's just, I love it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this look, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.